RSL Nation!
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of The Bros, which, by the way, can you guys guess what year this jersey is from?
86.
Nice guess.
Hmm.
That's not 86. Come
Not
on.
86.
1990.
Not 1990.
Older, newer,
Um, I'll just tell you guys. 1994.
94. Okay.
There we go. This is the famous Maradona 94 jersey.
Is that
So,
modernized at all or?
no, this literally came from my dad's closet.
Oh,
Ah,
shoot.
I love
Like,
I love that store. That's a good store.
we just raided it. We literally just ransacked it. Like,
What?
yeah, he said, "Hey, I don't want these soccer jerseys in my closet anymore."
What? Why wasn't I
Mhm.
told about this?
He still has
Rude.
some. He still has some. No
You
worries.
you know I collect jerseys, right?
I lo-
Yes.
I've
he gave me like 3 RSL polos. I'll give you some, Christian.
I don't need RSL polos. I need jerseys. I have
Okay.
a couple RSL. I have 3 RSL polos. Red, white, and blue. I need jerseys. I have like 30 right now. I need more.
Well, there we go. You might have to stop up at my dad's house
Oh
at some point.
gosh.
Anyways, guys, welcome to another episode of what we call the family, the RSL Bros.
We
Shoot, this is a family
Family
podcast.
family
we are a family.
friendly. Family friendly.
That
We're
that too,
family.
mostly.
We are family. We are friendly, not family friendly.
Oh, okay. That's a
We're
good
family friendly too. We keep the language clean.
yeah,
Ish.
we don't have to
Opinions are spicy but professional.
nothing is
The
censored
verbiage.
on YouTube or Spotify, so don't worry.
Whatever. It is what it is. I don't care.
If we were monetized, we wouldn't be demonetized, but we're not monetized yet.
Yes, all of that. Guys, we have a lot as always, but this week, the past at least since Saturday, has been super eventful with a lot of RSL gossip, a lot of RSL opinions, a lot of fans complaining, a lot of fans saying, "Hey, we're doing all right." So we're gonna try to touch on everything in an hour. I don't know. I don't know if we can do it. We have
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
like legit. I don't know if we're not gonna be able to do it justice. I can tell you that these are ongoing conversations, and we're probably gonna cover the same topics for the next couple of weeks. Not gonna lie, but this is how it's gonna roll, and we're gonna do things a little different tonight. So one,
I like different. Different's good.
different is good. This is just so
Mostly.
we don't go insane. All right. Um, we're actually gonna read some of your guys' Instagram questions first.
Whoa, whoa,
Okay.
whoa,
I,
whoa.
I only say that because I think for me personally, I'm tired of just saying when we're at the very end reading the questions where we're like, yeah, we already answered it, whatever. So we're gonna get you guys excited for what we're gonna answer before we even get started. So we're gonna do that. And we're going to dive right after that into the Vancouver game. We're going to talk about a lot of RSL drama that's going on, especially on the radio. Um, we're going to hit last night's game, the Austin game, which was another one where it's like mind blowing. Don't look at me like that. Come on. I know you love the game.
Yeah.
Well, I'll listen to you later. um, and then after that, we obviously have to talk about the game coming up this next weekend against the Galaxy.
Mm.
And yeah, all of this with a lot of mixed emotions coming right at you. So let's Marcos, without further ado, give us kind of a some of the questions. Give us some of the questions that we will most likely answer within the next hour.
Absolutely. So we have a lot of good questions. So, like always, thank you for those that submitted the questions. So here's the first question: what has got to happen to turn this season around? A through D. A. Pablo out. B. Better summer signings. C. Better game management. Or D. All the above.
We'll answer it.
Okay. Let me pull up next question for you guys. What's the missing piece of our club?
Oh, okay.
Next question. It seems that when Vera and Glad are together, the defense struggles. Ego issues?
Oh,
Hmm.
Let's see here. Are Pablo's substitutions hurting RSL's ability to close out games?
we'll definitely be talking about that.
And last question that we have, how much longer will Pablo last as coach if these results keep happening?
Well,
Ooh.
guys, that is what we're going to be going over roughly in a nutshell. So strap on your big boy boots because this is going to get real. So without further ado, Christian, give us our Vancouver lineup.
So our Vancouver lineup. Hold on, I didn't have the Vancouver game
You're like,
open.
wait.
I had Austin and LA open. So our Vancouver lineup, starting from front to back, we had Willie up top with an attacking midfield of Luna, Goso, and Markchuk, with a midfield of Ruiz and Eneli, and then a back line of Catranis, Vera, Glad, and Kalaskan, and our favorite goalkeeper in between the posts, Rafael Cabral.
All right. So as always, give me your thoughts. Don't get into the first 4 minutes of the game, please. But give me your pre-game thoughts.
Pre-game thoughts looking at this lineup. The only thing that surprised me was including Ruiz instead of Ojeda. And obviously the um at this point we had just learned really about Diogo's supposed heel injury.
Well, I think
Um
that the
I mean
supposed
that is legit.
yeah. So the heel injury was legit for Saturday's game.
And actually saw Jesus and Diogo up in the suite area and said hi. And they're both very nice. But lineup, honestly, this is pretty close to as strong as it gets for us right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, the I can't find where actually I wouldn't put anyone in that's. I mean, besides the Ojeda one, like you just mentioned, but I think this might be our strongest one, just like you said, Marcos.
Yeah, going off of what you guys just said, very strong lineup. Great to have Vera there. Kaliskin, awesome to see him get another start once again. And yeah, like everybody that got the start definitely deserved to be in that starting 11.
All right, now let's get into the nitty gritty. That's all nice that the lineup looks nice, but were they going to produce anything? That's been our biggest challenge is producing something. Because did we produce anything the previous game? Let's
And
see.
I think as fans we went into it with no expectations of production,
No.
just because that's unfortunately what we've gotten used to this season. And so the fact that there was not just production, but honestly the best production we've seen all season happen.
Yeah, I mean we were coming off of two straight games being shut out, and that and I remember last episode before this game, I was like, I want to be able to yell goal again. I mean the previous one was against Dallas, and that was a good goal.
Not
But I
gonna lie,
mean,
you can ask Christian up in the press box. 50 seconds in, Gozo's goal. My face lit up like a Christmas tree. I was shocked. That beautiful pass from Diego Luna to Gozo on that left hand side. Gozo's got legs. He's got wheels. That kid is so fast, and to outrun a backline like Vancouver is so impressive.
it really was. We had talked about last week how Vancouver might have been gassed. I mean, they're doing a rotated lineup for X reason, whatever. I didn't see this lineup very rotated.
No,
No,
Not gonna lie.
no.
honestly, respect the Vancouver for not rotate. I think they realize the threat that RSL has the potential of becoming, and we're like, we've got a fantastic season going on. We can't take any chances.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they gave us the respect of giving us a solid lineup to perform against. And honestly, it was a good test for our team.
Now and then 3 minutes later, we have a Diego scoring on I'll call it a garbage goal because I mean he was just right place, right time. I mean that's what you're supposed to do if you're gonna score goals. But um, I really want to just maybe emphasize the youth on this one because I think was this our very first game that we had Gozo, Dom, and Luna starting together, or was did
Correct,
we?
correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, yeah, because I think it was the Portland game. That's when we had Dom and Gozo together because Dom came on as a sub.
Right. So this was our first time starting together. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when we scored those two goals in the first 5 minutes, um, I was, I mean, to say the least, surprised. But I wanted to attribute it to the cohesion of our youth. I mean, if you look at those three are U22s. We have a 21-year-old, 21-year-old, and an 18-year-old. I mean, there's that is almost as young as you can get without going like to your academy.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know. I want to get you guys' thoughts on the youth on this one because we have Diogo that's been starting most of the season except for the past couple of games for injury. And we'll call him an old guy, but
He's older. Yeah.
sure. And we have other players that could fit into these roles, but does youth matter? Would you guys be playing more youth, seeing the way that they're playing right now, seeing the results that they come up with?
I think when it comes to starting 11, there's a good balance of having your youth along with a veteran piece because you want to have that veteran piece to be able to give that experience, to give that leadership on the pitch. But then also these young guys like a Gozo, like a Luna can bring that speed, can bring that finishing touch like we saw.
I'm just super impressed with Gozo. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I think everyone in the RSL nation is gonna be singing his praises for a minute. Um, I want to maybe talk about a hot topic. Um, then this is 100% my opinion. I think I'm trying to figure out how to word it without getting in trouble with half of this population. Um, I think Luna is becoming too much of a ball hog. And I think because of his ball hogness, we're losing opportunities of getting other goals, getting other opportunities at goal, because it almost seems like he wants to be the hero.
I can see where you're coming from. I saw it in spurts in this Vancouver game, but I saw it more in the game last night against Austin, obviously at the very end. But it comes and goes. I think his
Hmm.
ego is getting the best of him, getting called up to the U.S. national team, being one of the leading goal scorers in the MLS right now. It's a lot. It's a lot that he's carrying right now at this time.
And a lot of it likely just I'm going to play devil's advocate for a lot of topics tonight, I think, because I think it's fair, because obviously we don't know what's going on in Diego's head. I think he also just feels a lot of pressure because they know that they're not performing to the level that they could be, and they know that, and he knows that he's able to produce and just he's good at finding these opportunities, and I don't think he's yet used to having somebody else who can produce like Gozo with him. And as soon as he realizes that and realizes he doesn't have to carry everything on his own, that he can work with Gozo and Dominic, who's I think he's starting to come out of his shell, which is exciting to see. It's what we've been wanting and a little impatiently waiting for, which we should have been more patient. Um, I think once he relaxes and realizes he's got 2 to 3 others around him that can produce as well, he'll calm down and produce better quality chances and get more in the assists stat line, which will ultimately benefit him in his ultimate goals of, continuing to be to quote Jason Christ, become an elite soccer player.
And I think I'm super hard on Luna only because I see the talent that he has, and it from my point of view, and I know I'm absolutely wrong, but I'm going to just say it from my opinion. Um, it just almost seems like he's not getting guided, Diego, into becoming that ultimate team player, that ultimate player that everyone has to go through.
So
Um,
what do you think is needed for him to be that ultimate team player? What's missing?
I mean, for me, I'm trying to think back when I was 21 years old, playing
Whew,
soccer. Whew, that's.
back in my day.
I mean, but I legit. This is where we're going there. Um, when I would play soccer, I'd be pretty. I'll say hot-headed. I wanted to do everything. I remember playing indoor soccer, and I was the guy that wanted to grab the ball, dribble, and just rip shots left and right because I knew I had the talent to do it. Um, it's not that I didn't want to pass it to my teammates, but you know what? Maybe going back to your guys' point, many episodes in a row, maybe there's a lack of confidence um, amongst or confidence slash trust amongst the teammates because maybe Luna does want to play with his teammates, but maybe he doesn't trust them passing the ball to him. He knows they're going to lose the ball, therefore losing an opportunity. Maybe it
Yeah,
goes back to that stress that he's holding of needing to hope like carry this team.
yeah, I think along with that, he's probably seen their stats, Dom, Gozo, that they're not finishing as much as he is. So why should I trust them in some aspects? So,
That's
but
that's that's a little more direct.
And to answer your question, Alan, I think what's going to help him, honestly, the this international break that's coming up, going to the U.S. men's national team camp and working under Mauricio Pochettino and working with other elite players that can really build his confidence on the ball. Every time he's come back from time with the U.S. men's national team camp, he's always come back better in some aspect. And
absolutely.
it absolutely shows that he's willing to put in the work and to grow. And maybe he, especially now that there's a tournament on the line, his first real tournament, because Nations League, not it's like
Yeah.
whatever, sort
Yeah.
of deal. But the Gold Cup is internationally recognized. It is something worth winning, and having that sort of pressure, an elite international pressure, and seeing how he develops under that, how he can perform and keep his demeanor, he'll be able to recognize what good he can bring back to the club and turn the second half of the season around, hopefully.
Yeah. And I guess I'm gonna maybe wrap up that topic with I know that he's good, and I think I only criticize because I want to see him be the best. Because I think right now I'm seeing in US soccer there isn't very many flashy players. They're just good hardworking players. I think Diego has the chance, the ability to be our number 110 um, after this next World Cup for sure. And so I think that my side of criticism is not from because I don't like the kid and I don't want him to play and I want him to fail. It's I want to see him grow, and I think that aspect of his game probably needs to get better on a club level. And I think maybe you're right. Going international break, going to the national team will help him reel that in. Maybe he'll learn some stuff. So
And I think not just Luna, I think Dom as well going to the Polish national team for their U21. That's going to give him that
Mhm.
confidence that he needs because he's kind of been lacking as well and not being able to finish his chances.
right, and then I guess on top of that, Gozo going to the U19s as well. So we have our U22 lineup is going out on international duty, and hopefully they're going to come back even better. Now, a little more in this game. Willie in the Vancouver game just couldn't get started again. It was like super frustrating. I was like, just do it, just
Yeah.
in the goal, kick it.
He's
But
he's getting some chances, but not producing in that game.
yeah. So, um, the result didn't surprise me in the sense that it is Vancouver. But let's talk about, and this is going to go again with the Austin game as well. RSL can't finish games. Again, we're up 2-0. Most dangerous lead. What is wrong? Why can't we finish games?
Set pieces, set pieces, set pieces, set pieces. We have failed at marking on set pieces. We leave a guy like Brian White wide open. You don't do that. You don't do that whatsoever.
I don't know, Christian. Do you have an idea? I mean, I know you're like our best like coach around here.
Oh man. Honestly, yeah, it's keeping up that intensity. Not it's also the thing is it all comes down to just little mistakes, just la little lacks of coverage, and honestly, the just those little lapses of judgment is what led to the first two goals for Vancouver because Vita's goal was phenomenal. I don't think anybody could have stopped that.
Yeah,
It
no.
and so I can't and won't blame the team for Vita's goal. Brian White's first penalty, first goal rather, was avoidable. Caliscan did his best to cover Brian White, but the size difference was too much, I think. Um,
I found it surprising though that they put Caliskin on Brian
because
White.
let me say, my one of my Marcos heard me say this all night. One of my favorite matchups of the night was Justin Glad and Brian White because outside of
Yeah,
the that set piece goal and the penalty, Justin Glad did a phenomenal job shutting down
he did.
Brian White. He was all over him, not letting him do anything. And Brian White was visibly frustrated during the game. So huge shout out to Justin Glad on controlling Brian White during that game.
That's why it was very surprising when it came to that corner kick that they switched. Justin
Hmm.
Glad was not on White. They threw Caliskin. So I was like, who knows if that would have made a difference? But yeah, like Christian said, Justin Glad was doing a excellent job man marking White the entire night.
Do you think that we went to park the bus towards the end of that game?
Not entirely.
Not yeah, not
We just lost the desire. We just got tired. We got really tired towards the end.
I mean, I only asked that because that second half was almost purely controlled by Vancouver in
Yeah,
the sense of I know the shots were equal in the second half. Possession was 55-45, but the momentum was just purely Vancouver side where it was like they just kept
mhm.
pushing, pushing, pushing it, and it just almost seemed like we just bleh.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
guys,
Mhm.
I don't even know what to even talk about with this game because it's like, oh, we're getting the same thing over and over again with RSL. Whereas we have good spurts. I mean, this game was a great beginning, but we can't hold on to anything. So we're holding on to water with our hands.
One thing that I want to mention before we kill a dead horse in this game is in the press conference. Pablo mentioned that they were going to bring in Johnny Russell, but Caliscan got injured and they had to bring in Bodie,
Mhm.
which kind of makes me sad. Who knows if Johnny would have brought made anything a difference? We see that change happen in the 81st minute. That would have been about 10 minutes for Johnny to bring life for RSL in the attack. We saw yesterday in the Austin game. He played about 15 minutes. He brought that spark of energy, which we needed desperately.
Mhm.
Hmm. Interesting. I am. Yeah, I think we'll kill this game because really, I mean, first off, it was 5 days ago, right? And I can barely remember anything. I can remember last night though. But before we get to last night's game, I do. Well, let's switch into what happened on, was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. With Jason Kreis went on the Spence Checkett show,
Oof.
and normal questions, whatever. But there happened to be a quote, we'll call it a quote, a little segment of that interview that happened to be focused a little bit more on Diogo. Um, Diogo apparently was disciplined by the team um, for something for um, non-RSL standard behavior. That's how they've that's how they name it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where I think maybe the conversation needs to get started. It's already been started. It's been started for like the past 4 months. But one, is Diogo really a player that we really want to have on RSL? Is does does the front office need to find a replacement, or can this be remedied? Can this be fixed? And can we have the Diogo that we expected come come play after, I don't know, who knows how long the suspension is for. So give me your Diogo thoughts, especially after Jason just laying an egg on us.
Right, right. That was quite the words that Jason Christ said a couple days ago. But it just seems like Jason and Kurt are now realizing how much of a bust he really is. They had so much potential in this DP caliber player coming from Europe, but he's not. I think that they're strongly looking for their next signing this summer transfer window. We know that it's been maybe going to be a DP, who knows? But yeah, I think that's where they need to be looking. Maybe keep Gio around maybe to the end of the season and then depart him.
I don't know.
Looking at you, Christian.
This is again. I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate again.
Lay it on
Here.
me.
So some things we need to consider about the whole Gio situation. First off, and I was talking to a friend about this, which really kind of spurred my thoughts about this. Let's look at the situation that Giogo was brought into. He was brought in to support Chicho. He was brought in with that in mind, with that sort of gameplay, that style in mind. And that's what he's built for. That's really his best style of plays when he's got an elite striker, which unfortunately we don't currently have. So supporting an elite striker to score goals. That was his main purpose in coming here. We lose Chicho falls into his rut last season about the time that Diogo shows up. So, and they don't really play together, so no chemistry is built. And then Chicho off to San Jose, where he's not doing any better than he would be doing here. um, and so now you have a player who's historically been a good player, who's not built for the system. And
Hmm.
because he's not built for the system, he can't perform. And I've also heard that he also doesn't have and this goes back to my point about the best teams are friends with each other and spend time with each other and build this chemistry. Apparently, he doesn't have a ton of friends here. Doesn't speak like he speaks some Spanish, obviously speaks Portuguese, and doesn't really speak English. And so, because of that, he's struggled to make chemistry within the team, find chemistry, which could have led to whatever Jason was talking about. It could just be all these things bubbling up to a point and having a unprofessional. Actually, I'm not going to assume it's unprofessional. I don't know what happened, but whatever
Yeah.
happened, happened. It's unfair to
So
assume anything happened.
Right.
so Monday I was at practice. Obviously, I got a glimpse of who was there, and I see Giogo and the rest of the guys walking away. So it makes me wonder that maybe all of this must have occurred on Tuesday, the next day, because everything was hunky dory. Giogo was half fiving, saying hello to all of his teammates, all the media. So it just makes me wonder. Must have been the following day.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm going to your point, maybe, Christian, about playing with elite strikers and whatnot. Um, I'm not going to buy it, only because he comes from a Copenhagen team where Copenhagen doesn't have elite strikers. They're just
Fair.
normal strikers from the Danish league. I mean, they're, there's nothing extraordinary about the team that he played on before, except for the fact that they qualify for Champions League very frequently. But I think that there has to be something in his mindset where he must either. I mean, I'm gonna say the words and you guys filter it. Um, there must be something in his mindset where he thinks he's better than everyone else because of where his background, where he comes from. But at the same time, you would expect that an elite player, a DP player coming in with that much experience, knows how to adjust and adjust quickly because of what of the circumstances that are around him. The fact that 14 games in, he still couldn't adjust, and fans were complaining after even 4, 5, 6 games. There's just something strange, and
Yeah,
it's
I'm kind of sick of the talk of Giogo needs time to adapt to this league, this and that. But that's all That's all poppycock. That like he's been with what us since September and has only produced what 3 goals in that
August.
time.
He was with
Yeah,
August. So,
yeah that's a bunch of BS. So
but
like
I do understand what you're saying, Christian. Is that he was brought in with the expectation of he was going to be supporting guys like Chicho, guys like Crooks, um, and obviously we knew he was going to be quote unquote not replacing Gomez, but he wasn't going to be playing with Gomez. But the fact that he was going to be playing at least with Chicho, Julio, Matt Crooks, and a bunch of others that, yes, are elevated, more definitely more elevated than what we have right now.
yeah,
Um, so maybe if I take couple steps back, do you think he's performing from a point of view of disappointment? He's disappointed in the situation that he finds himself in?
I feel like
Probably.
I feel like if you're disappointed, then play harder. Like prove and show these guys that you're the elite player that we know you are.
But I mean, we say this. We're simple podcast guys. We just talk about this for fun, but these guys do it for a living. Imagine being under so much pressure that any mistake on the field, your job is on the line. And this line of work is not easy to find jobs. So, um I I get what you're trying to say, Christian. I think from a fan point, it's super frustrating because
Oh, sure.
we have expectations. When someone doesn't perform to their expectations, we get angry, we get upset, and therefore the criticisms come out. Um, I am a firm believer of no one is free of criticism, but if you know you're getting criticism, I think there's got to be some kind of change. Um, and unfortunately, it's even gone all the way up to Jason. He's not seeing that change. So I think if if Jason is the one criticizing right now and saying he's not what we expected, I think it's free range professionally to criticize Diogo's performances up until this point. I don't know. That's and I know that there's not much to say beyond that, but I think it's super frustrating that the team is now suffering because of one person's performance. Can you believe that? One person that we expected probably way too high, and we're getting nothing out of it.
Yeah. So according to Jason, the suspension was obviously for the Austin game and then for the LA game. Who knows if there's more,
Oh,
but
for the LA game too?
yeah, yeah. So for 2 games, he is suspended.
Well, I think they calculated that well because of an international break.
Yeah.
Because now along with Diogo being we'll call it suspended from team duties, we now hear today, the day after the Austin game, and this was probably the case before, that Emeka is now going to be out for what Kurt says is a couple of months.
Oof.
Not good. Not good. Not good.
First off, speedy recovery to Emeka. We
Please,
are huge Emeka fans
Yeah.
on this podcast.
yes.
Yeah.
And it
If that's the case, if it's a couple of months, hopefully it's by League's Cup just in time for Club America because if not, oh, we in for a beating.
Did you guys by chance see what the injury was? Because they sent out the who's out from this last game, and I forgot to read why Eneli was out. But
Bob says it's a foot injury.
the foot has many parts.
See, I must be bad luck because Monday Eneli was there training full fitness, running everything. Tuesday I wasn't there, and it must have happened Tuesday that he got injured. So
Guys, maybe that now the talk goes into obviously we've already played the Austin game. We saw lineup changes.
yeah,
Um, but how does this now affect the defensive midfield, especially going into the international break?
it just
I
means yeah, it just means moving forward. We need to see Pablo Ruiz step up that much more.
Mhm. And he's starting to do that. I think he's starting to find his form again. We're going to see Ojeda, Ruiz. That's what we're going to see.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think to your point, Marcus, I really think he's starting to find his groove again because um
Marcos. I said it,
you
not.
did you say that?
Oh.
The non-bald kid, the non-blonde kid.
I'm losing my mind. Um Christian, I'll give you credit. Guys, this season has been crazy. Like, all
Uh,
right, anyways, Christian, I'll give you the credit. How's that? Does that make you feel better?
yes, it does.
Good. All right, so let's so with the positioning of I mean, we have a couple of injuries. We'll call Diogo's an injury. Um, but the defensive line has injuries. Eneli now has an injury, and we have an international break where at least two of our starters are going to be out for the DC United game. Um, what does this summer look like for you guys, and how is this how is this going to look? I mean,
My brain, like from injuries to players gone, June's gonna be a scary month for RSL.
we only have what, 2 games, 3 games, 3 games. Yeah.
Three,
Yeah.
three.
Honestly, I think what we're gonna see more of Nelson Palacio in the midfield. I think we're gonna see a Griffin Dillon appearance in the midfield.
Bro, I don't want that.
That
I want Aiden
Aiden's more I would see Aiden more up top to
like a
sub in.
winger.
Yeah,
Aiden's
for
he's more of a right mid.
so
Mm,
I could see him subbing in for, you know,
Dom.
and Dom.
Oh no, because Dom's gonna be out.
So it would be or
Hmm.
he'd be swapping out for Lockie or
Well, that's
Russell
Wolf.
or Wolf, which,
No,
hey, shout out to Wolf for a fantastic goal with the Monarchs. So two
two
goals. That's
goal
right.
and two
Two
assists
goals.
and two assists.
Yay.
Good
Um,
job, dude. Seriously.
Very
but
impressive.
I guess that's what, going back to my argument of we need to play more youth. I think the youth gain confidence, and I think we need to put them in the right moments. Like right now, Wolf could be in a really good moment where we need to play him pretty soon. So maybe like another game or two with the Monarchs, um, right before that DC game. Boom, I would put him in that DC game so hard. Um, anyways, let's maybe not go that route. Let's go to the Austin game because I
Yep.
know that's really fresh on our minds, and I know some of us have some hard feelings. So, Marcos, get us into this Austin game.
Yeah, so same exact lineup as the Vancouver game, no changes whatsoever.
Does that surprise you?
Scratch that. Ojeda,
Wow.
Ojeda returned, and then Eneli out. But no, that does not surprise me at all. Obviously, if it wasn't broken, don't change anything because obviously our midfield was working
People are
wonders.
gonna tell you that it was broken.
Eh, but people need to give the team credit for going 3-2 against the best team in North America right now. So,
Facts, facts. No,
Here's the problem with that real quick. People,
mm,
yes, they don't give RSL the credit that they deserve for, especially for that game, even though they're up 2-0. People are gonna stick with the negative. Always.
negative Nancy's not here with the RSL bros, except for
no
Marcos.
facts, facts. No, the first half for RSL, we came out guns blazing. We had many opportunities. Of course, the one that everybody knows so well, the header from Luna that
Oof.
creeped just wide. Dom with a very chip of a cross. Luna right on a platter. So,
He's gonna want that back
100%,
so
100%.
much, and he should. I mean, that was a great opportunity, and just off by that much. I just need him to do that against Saudi Arabia, just into the side of the net.
No, we came out with a good intensity, very I wouldn't say similar to Vancouver, but we came out guns blazing. We weren't afraid to take those shots that we needed.
So then, again, I'm not gonna stop saying it. The youth are performing to what we expect. I actually think they're overperforming. I think Gozo has Thought Mob the rating system sucks. I think Gozo had another heck of a game.
Hmm.
Dom, for me, I texted you guys. I think Dominic had probably one of the better matches. It was probably one of the better players on RSL during this game,
He's
because of how
coming out of his shell.
he's coming out of the shell. He's yes. And he was just dangerous down that right side. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not going to say that Austin is not the strongest, but Dom was finding those slots in the Oblo con Pablo. Um, Pablo was telling Dom that it looks it. I can't remember when or how many times he was doing it. Dom was trying to like cut in and then try to like do things towards the middle. Um, Pablo wanted him to go all the way down to the line and just launch across, right across, because he was just that fast in beating the his defender to the line.
Yeah.
And so that was super helpful and super dangerous, which provided a lot of, we'll call it pseudo defense for us. It gave our back line a huge breather. To,
Hmm.
and that's why Austin couldn't do anything. Brandon Vasquez, who?
He was MIA. He
I
was
forgot.
MIA.
Holy crap! I legitimately just until now forgot that he was on that squad.
Exactly. I mean,
RSL, RSL,
that,
RSL,
He had a few good
RSL.
moments. I'll give it to him in the second half where,
I mean,
but
he's good.
yeah, like he had a few good bright moments in the second half. But other than that, I was like, where's Brandon Vasquez? They brought him in to score goals, but wasn't him that scored the game tying goal.
No, but I think the way that exactly to your guys' point, we played really well, just like the Vancouver game. I don't think we changed much in style, to be honest. In fact, I personally, as a fan, felt pretty confident in this game, because of how we performed in the Vancouver game. Now, if you're one of those fans that are listening right now and you're thinking, bro, you guys don't know what you guys are talking about. We played horrible. Bro, you don't know what you're talking about, because we played really well. In fact, I texted in there's a little Twitter group in on Twitter. um and it's just full of RSL fans, and that group normally is like lights out, insulting and just
Oh yeah, they're
demeaning
brutal, so
every
brutal.
player. But that first half was silent. And why was it silent?
Everybody
Because
was they were clicking. They were on they were on or they were connecting so well.
those fans didn't have a damn word to say about how well we were playing, because they hate talking good about RSL. I'm
This
sorry.
is a family-friendly show.
Sorry. Darn. they, they like they really don't care about talking really well about RSL.
No,
I didn't hear a single peep.
no, it's facts. They either want to talk bad about players or they want to talk bad about referees. So
I mean, it's easy to do that,
it is. It is
especially where the team is right now.
facts. Facts.
I mean, that's why where did I say? Oh, I tweeted out my personal. I said I've changed my mindset this season, a couple of games ago, probably a month ago, to now this has turned into development. That's why I'm pushing youth, because this is perfect timing to give them these opportunities. Now, I know you want to give players opportunities to have success, but sometimes you can't give them that success, but you can give them the minutes, and those minutes may turn into really good opportunities. Right now, Gozo is just eating up his minutes and taking full advantage. He played another 90 minutes. I mean, he played two
Hmm.
90-minute back to backs. Did he
Yep.
play 90 minutes in Vancouver?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Correct.
Hmm.
Correct.
that's crazy, and he's gonna do it again. I would hope, against the Galaxy. This kid is a machine, and he's gonna be the one of the best strikers that's come out of RSL's academy.
I
So
was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you guys. We saw 58th minute. We saw those three subs of Alex coming off, Brian as well as Pablo, and then we saw PQ, Sam, and then Nelson. Three interesting subs. Obviously, in the Vancouver game, that's when we saw Brian come off because he was coming back from injury. But this one, I I, I think Brian was doing just fine. I don't know why in that heat of the moment he would come off.
I'm gonna assume medical, but it does bring up
He did bonk his head again.
dumb done bunk his head again. But it does bring up the question of the Pablo subs rotations. Does this? Do you guys question Pablo's substitution rotations? His
I think the
timings.
The one that I
I
was very
it's
frustrated with was the Pablo Ruiz coming off.
Hmm. Interesting.
And I think for me, it's probably the timings too. It's not the players. He's because those are the player substitutions that I would make too. It's just finessing that timing, which got to be tough. But
Yeah,
So
I think it's timing and then doing three all at once that early in the
mm,
second half. It's just
I
yeah.
don't mind the amount of subs. The timing, I think everyone's having an issue with the timing. Is the 58th minute too early? What did Pablo see? And I didn't hear the press conference, but did he see something in the 50th minute where he's like, you know what? I'm going to change this. Or is it because of minute loads? Because he's really big on minute loads. If he sees a player getting too many minutes, he doesn't want to overload them for possible future games. So, do you guys, I guess, which one of those do you guys find more plausible in this case? And do you guys find it as a reasonable excuse?
I can see it being a minute's load. Watching, looking for their minutes ahead of the LA game upcoming.
yeah, minutes would make sense to me too.
It would make sense, except I'm probably going to side with a lot of the fans here, and they're like, and say, these guys are professionals. We know professionals play 3 games in 7 days, and they play higher level competitions. Like, what's wrong? What's happening here? And again, maybe I'm just being negative. Guys, slap me out of this. Come on, help me because
Mhm.
I, I'm I think I'm just echoing from what I read too much online, and this is what we're reading. This is what we're hearing. The reality is maybe it is just a minutes load.
Well, it's funny. We take a look at our team, and at the beginning of the season, we were raving about how much depth we had, especially in the midfield and the defense. All of a sudden, during the season, we're played with all these injuries. And suddenly that depth that was there is now gone. And so Pablo's now left with a situation where he's trying to balance. He's got four defensive midfielders. I mean, three and a half when, you know, with or three and three and a half with Pablo Ruiz coming out of injury because he still needs to be careful because Pablo's injury to the knee is something that could easily happen again.
Right.
And and so just kind of balancing everything and just being like, okay, we've got an LA team coming up that's looking for their first victory of the season, and we tend to make mistakes that can lead to that unfortunate potential for that first victory. So let's make sure the players stay fresh. So I'm going to make an earlier substitution to help make sure that key players like Pablo Ruiz, who can take advantage and shoot very accurately from out wide, like he did early in this game, which was awesome. And I was like,
Oh
ah,
yes.
um, so I'm going to do this rotation.
I wonder though, and maybe to the point of one of the questions, does these kind of rotations, especially early rotations, does it ruin any kind of flow that we may have had? Because we were like we were good the first half. We were really good. The second half seemed to drop off a bit.
I would say
It didn't
I would
drop a
say
lot.
I would say timing, taking out certain players that can definitely ruin the flow, the momentum. But going to your point, Alan, I wouldn't say it's number of players, but it's definitely timing. 100%, 100%. That early in the second half definitely killed us.
Okay. I need your guys' thoughts on one, finally Willie getting his goal.
Well, I'm one step closer to shaving my beard. One step closer.
Um that great on him. A great free kick taken. That's a huge weight lifted off of him.
Oh, absolutely.
Um
Absolutely.
so now let's just hope for more. And I said I was going to get your guys' thoughts, but I'm actually going to switch gears and attach it to a Johnny Russell's performance. I want your guys' thoughts on that. What did you guys think of Johnny Russell's 15 minutes on the field? Yeah, you think so?
He had about one or two close opportunities, but other than that, like yeah, he brings like a good tenacity, good attack, but it was as you'd expect from an old man at 35 years old.
Yeah, old man, 35 years old.
What the heck, bro? I mean, come on. I thought we were on good terms. Um, I honestly thought he performed to what I think is expected of him. I
That's why I was like,
I think, but I think saying maybe downgrades the effect that he had. I
that's
wish
fair. Okay, that's fair.
I think he still had a good effect. I think if you put him in earlier, you leave Pablo Ruiz on the field with him.
Mm.
He has the support. Whereas Palacio is still a wild card.
Mhm.
I do like him, but
I didn't think about that. I would love to see the pairing of Johnny and Pablo Ruiz on the field together. That could be a dangerous combo.
I think moving forward, 15 minutes, good. I would push maybe to 25, see if he could go for something like that. But yeah, that pairing of having a Ruiz Russell, that could be dangerous.
yeah, I think Russell didn't perform to what the best of his ability because of the support that he had behind him. Because
That's fair.
I think there's something there. All right.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
just one last thought before we move on.
Yeah.
That's one thing that Jason in that interview, which everybody should go listen. It's a phenomenal interview. Spence asked the question. Spence was brave. He asked the questions, and Jason gave us answers. And Jason did say that he expects Johnny to pop off after this international break because he thinks that his fitness is only going to continue to improve, which is honestly pretty consistent with uninjured, seasoned players because
Yeah,
Johnny's just older. He's not suffering from the effects of multiple injuries throughout his career.
Right.
exactly.
And I think maybe not after international break, but maybe during he's gonna pop off.
Mm, that's fair.
Okay.
I just want
I,
to mention
yeah, go ahead.
right after the Willie goal, I was telling everybody at Kaya, I was like, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. It's going to be a typical RSL fashion where we take
You
the
did
lead.
it. You
I did
did
it.
it.
I think I cursed everybody at Kaye where I told them I was like, don't get excited too fast. We're gonna be a typical RSL. We're gonna give up a late goal, and what do we
Ugh,
do? Yep, yep.
That's called being selfish, Marcos. You wanted the 3 points and didn't want the 3 points for RSL. Do you see that,
Uh,
rude,
Christian? You see that?
rude,
Uh-huh.
rude.
I see what's going on. Yeah. Now you can say, "Well, I'm catching up to you guys in the prediction table." Bull. That you just cheated. You like put a voodoo curse on
yep.
RSL.
I told Rubio before the game, go score.
I hate Rubio, by the way. I
Ugh.
absolutely hate him. I have my reasons that I won't say out loud on a public forum, but I hate him. All right, let's move on because we've blabbed a lot. So, the LA game. This LA game, and by the way, guys, preface. I know we didn't do the last game any justice either. We're just blabbing. So sorry if you guys if you
We need to move on. We still have a bunch of stuff to talk about.
yes we do. Okay, Los Angeles, guys.
Uh,
We've already beat
uh,
them 2-0 this year.
do I feel bad for LA? No,
No,
no.
no, no. But
Almost, but still no.
guys, I'm super worried, and I'll tell you this: I'm super worried because a video came out that the whole team and the coaching staff went to their supporter section, um, pleading for forgiveness of how they've been playing, the season so far, etc.
Oh shoot.
Um, I I think those moments are moments where it unites people a little bit more in their struggle and
Uh-huh.
and potentially makes them stronger.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
I mean, look at what happened after Alex requested to do the press conference and how
Yeah.
we were all like, we're going to reenact the Trojan War. Alex Catranis is our Odysseus. Ah!
Uh,
But seriously, these kinds of moments are where now I'm worried because obviously we're struggling and the Galaxy now have a huge reason and a huge motivation to win.
Yeah,
Saturday.
but RSL fans will look at the table. They're at 4 points, 16 games in. No, no, don't look at the table. Table means
Don't
nothing right now.
underestimate.
This team is still lethal. They got Royce, they got Gabriel Peck, they got Paintsil. They got they have a lethal midfield and attack. And yes, you can talk about their defense, how terrible it is, but they are still a good team. That they put up a decent fight against San Jose, but still lost.
Well, let's not just say decent. They only lost by one nothing. The
Uh,
previous week they were winning 1-0 against San Diego, lost
which is
2-1.
which is impressive in that San Jose game. Joseph Martinez and Espinoza were playing, and they only put up one goal.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, so and the week before the Gal or the San Diego game, they play against LAFC, tied 2-2. The 7-0 one I'm gonna scratch off because that's like a one off. But Galaxy were winning 2-0 against Philadelphia. They lost 3-2.
Mhm.
They were all, I mean, Sporting KC 1-0. So these guys aren't losing by much.
No,
In
no,
fact, only us. I'm talking about within the past 2 months, so April and May. Our game, their game against Portland, and the game against the Red Bulls are the only ones that were greater than 1 goal difference.
yeah.
I gotta say, I see people are gonna hate me for saying this, but the style of play that the LA Galaxy have, it's kind of similar to ours.
Yeah.
And so we have two teams going head to head this Saturday that both tend to score early and have trending. So this is trending tend to give up late goals.
So then it turns into who do you give the advantage to? We're not gonna do prediction time yet. Wait for
We're getting there.
it. We're getting there. We're warming up. But yeah, that's a great point because if the trend is right now, score early, score fast, and then die off, the question now turns to, because of how both teams have been trending, who dies off first or who lasts the longest. I mean, this
That's a, that's
almost
a that's a tough call because
this sounds like an 80-year-old plus marathon race. Um, yeah, but I'm still worried at the fact that they're getting motivated. They're getting ready. And obviously they still have Paintsil, Peck, um, Fagundes, uh,
Marco Royce.
Marco Royce.
I just I just don't want to see RSL be that team that gives LA their first win this season. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid.
I don't know. I think the more people say it, the more it might actually happen. Because I've seen it said a lot on Twitter as well. I hope we're not out there first. I hope we're not there first. It's like, um, I don't know. I think if we stop talking about it, maybe it may not happen. I think we really have a good team that is ready to pop off at any moment. Gozo's going to get another goal at some point. He's going to. Dom has to get a goal. Willie's going to get another goal. Luna's going to get another goal. These guys are able to get goals, and I'm telling you, once one of them gets double, like at least 2 goals, it's going to go off. Just saying. I mean, um, what else? What else about the Galaxy? This Galaxy team. Um, I don't know.
Well, the only time that we played each other Galaxy this season, Luna did have a brace, as we know. Let's see what other changes we have. Lineup, our back line is pretty much the exact same that we play right now. We had Hidalgo, Glad, Vera, Alex in that back line first time we played them. So I feel very confident that we'll be able to execute.
Yeah. Christian, you have any lingering thoughts? Okay.
Nah.
Then it is time. Prediction
Prediction
time.
time.
All right, let's do it. Christian, lay it on us.
Okay. I'm going to continue on my optimistic streak here. I do think the Galaxy are going to strike first at home. They're going to come in bubbling with a confidence, but RSL is going to win 2-1.
There we go. There we go. Argos, keep it up.
I got 3 points last week. I think it's going to be another draw for RSL. This time, we're not going to see goals from either side. 0-0.
Oh, that's a that's harsh. I'm gonna go with Christian because I didn't like you, Marcos. That was that was horrible. Um, I'm gonna go with a 2-0. We're gonna do it again. 2-0 win against the Galaxy because I just feel that confident. Yeah, Marcos, you take your doble huevos and you just shove them where the light don't shine. Yeah, we're gonna win this one. All right, guys. Let's see. Did we answer all the questions? Let's figure this one out. Um, Summarize it. Marcus, where are we at?
Oh, you're having me open. I gotta go back to the questions.
I got open.
Oh gosh.
I got open. No worries. What's the missing piece of our club?
What were the choices again? I didn't remember it was A, B, C, D.
Oh no, that's not the ABCD one.
Oh, the mi- I mean, missing piece of our club. I still, it's a striker. It's still it. I really think because if we have an elite striker who puts away goals, the team confidence goes up, and we stop our energy stays consistent during a game rather than we score and then ugh.
Kurt talked to this point today about what's missing. So go and listen to that one. He was on what's his face's show. What's his face?
He was with
Oh my gosh.
David James. David
Dave,
James.
yeah, yeah. DJ and PK. There we
How
are.
how could you forget DJ?
Bro,
We love DJ.
bro, I saw his face.
Shout shout out to DJ.
Shout out. Marcus, what was that ABCD
So the
question?
ABC question was, what has got to happen to turn this season around? A, Pablo out. B, better summer signings. C, better game management. Or D, all of the above.
Not
I
all the
add an
above.
E.
No,
I'm
no
gonna
E.
add an E.
Oh
You're
man.
BC.
gonna-
Huh?
BC. BNC.
I
B.
am. I'm
Oh.
agreeing with Christian because I talked to Alan earlier today because we can't take out a coach midway through the season. I'm sorry, St. Louis, that had to happen, but why would you fire a coach like Pablo today or tomorrow? What's that going to prove? We're still going to be where we're at. We're not going to improve. So if we want to see change, you got to sign players.
Yeah, I'm not on the Pablo out train whatsoever.
No.
And to
Nope.
one of the other questions, how much longer will Pablo last as coach? He's going to last till the end of his contract.
Yeah,
Especially
absolutely.
especially with these results, he's going to last until the end of his contract. Whether he
Yep.
gets a contract extension or not, that's not my business. But he will last until the end of his contract.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I maybe I did want to say a little bit more about that Pablo out stuff. I don't think this has ever been a Pablo out situation
Mm-mm.
ever. People may say he doesn't handle the locker room well enough or he doesn't get control. I've never. I remember. I'm gonna confess. I remember probably at the beginning of 2023, I was on the Pablo out train.
You were.
But that's 2 years ago, bro. I'm I was on it because we had certain players that probably needed to be switched out and just it just wasn't working.
Here, in my opinion, for those people that are on the Pablo out train, I guess put yourself in Pablo's shoes. What would you do if you were thrown in that moment as a head coach for their team for that team? So
That's a phenomenal question.
yeah, so you're, there's not much you can do after you literally lost all those players and you're given this from Kurt and Jason. Here you go, work with this.
Yeah.
And you guys are wanting to fire him? No, no.
Yeah, I know. All right. We have one last special question, apparently.
I like it. Give it to me.
I thought you were going to give it to me.
Oh, you had it right in front of you.
I do have it right in front of me. Here's your last special question. Um, and all I can say is, Mr. Josue, really, Mr. Josue? Here's the question. What is your go-to concessions while at a game?
Oh, I love this question.
Ooh.
I was waiting for this one all day.
I'll make it quick and simple. I'm a hamburger and fries guy, so I like seasoned fries. That sounds boring, but
I'm gonna say a different answer because I do enjoy that. Um, I will get a churro and a drink if it's available. The drinks are always available, but if a churro's available, I do like a good churro.
all right.
What I like those cinnamon almonds that they have at the RSL games. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
The ones you can smell from 2 miles away.
Yes.
You go to Oktoberfest up at Snowbird and you smell it everywhere.
Yeah. Those
Yeah,
ones, chef's kiss at RSL games.
but just like everyone else, we are going to complain about those prices because those are ridiculous prices. That's like those are prices what you see at like I just
La-
came back from
Lagoon.
California. Well, look, no, well, Lagoon. I just came from Universal Studios, and bro, one hamburger cost me $15. I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, sorry, American First Field is not Universal Studios, and it's definitely not the Krusty Burger. So they can't charge that much. But all right, guys, I think we made it. We may not have done justice to a lot of topics, but we did it. We got through it. And I guess as a full preface, and when I say preface, I mean suffix because
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
at the
yeah.
end, not we're at the beginning. Um, if you guys have any opinions that you guys want to express that we didn't share, or if you guys think we totally missed out on something, let us know. We'll
DM
fit.
us,
We'll fix it
tweet
next
at
time.
us.
Because I know all of us have opinions, and sometimes I'm going to just throw this out there. Sometimes we can't express them here because, well,
Yeah, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please hit the RSL Bros hotline. We can get to you guys.
We have a
oh,
hotline now. Are you paying for this?
Hit my
I
hit the DMs. I'll
slide into
One of us
Marcus's
will
DMs.
respond.
Yeah,
One of us will respond. Try to guess who. Um,
that's
all the
actually
oh you gotta guess the RSL bro who to message you first.
yeah, who's running Twitter? Who's running Instagram? Because we all take turns.
we
It's the
do.
RSL
We
sister.
really do.
What? There's no
What?
RSL sister. Shut up.
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. We're all
Who?
right.
And wait, last thing
What?
before we end. Marcos, is there another watch party this Saturday?
TBD, TBD.
Oh,
Also, last thing, I have a special announcement from Kaye that I needed to make
what?
official.
Okay.
So there is a soccer tournament coming up in 2 weeks. So let me pull it up. Open Street Soccer Cup presented by Kaye 4v4 happening at the Galvin Center June 13th for all youth, June 14th for adults. So
Wow.
head over to the Kaye Instagram page, their website if you guys want to register. So happening in 2 weeks. So 4v4 street soccer tournament in June 13th for youth, June 14th for adults.
I am not playing with you guys.
We can do
Oh,
RSL Bros team.
the 14th. That's the night of the DC United game.
Yeah, so no gracias.
Sorry,
Well, why not? I mean, you play soccer in the morning, go to the game in the evening.
that's fair.
What do you guys have to do?
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Laundry. All right, Margo, send us off. We're done here.
If you guys aren't already, head over to X and head over to Instagram and follow us at the RSL Bros and catch us wherever you catch your podcast on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube.
You're getting really good at this. 2 years, guys. This past week we celebrated 2 years as a podcast. So thank you everyone, and catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.